Okay, so the first module was a great icebreaker. By now you should have a pretty good understanding of at least where you want to focus your marketing efforts. Now we're at a point where we need some leads, we need to get some stuff going, we need to really fill that pipeline up with some potential deals. Because let me be the first to tell you, you always want to keep something on deck. You always want to keep the ball moving. But before I get too far ahead of myself, we need to first get our first deal going, right? Well, this is the name of that module exactly. How it sounds, we're gonna beat the bush. Now, let me ask you, have you ever been duck hunting? If not, don't worry, me either. But I've seen enough Duck Dynasty to know that when those guys go duck hunting, they can't see the ducks initially. Depending on the location, the ducks may be hard to find. But this is where the Robertsons of West Monroe, Louisiana made their money, from duck calls. Well, what I like to call my PNA, prospecting, networking, and advertising, are the duck calls in the world of real estate investing. This is how we beat the bush. We're a tech-savvy company, so my goal is to teach you how to hack your way into a ton of leads and a proven system that people in various industries use to truly generate a ton of leads. But first, let's look at some of the old versus new mediums of media. When the internet came around, the whole dynamics of everything changed slowly. Over time, it has changed along with real estate investing industry as well. Look at it for yourself. Direct mail, that's evolved into email. Networking, which has evolved into Facebook and apps like Flip. TV, which has evolved into mediums like YouTube and Vimeo. Radio, which has evolved into podcasts where people can get a ton of resources to help them learn almost any subject out there. Newspapers, which has evolved into blogs and resources like Reddit, from people all over the place to contribute meaningful and thought-provoking content to people around the world at the click of a button. So in terms of what you want to learn in terms of flipping homes, you gotta have your prospecting radar on all the time. I'm gonna show you two ways how to prospect. The first is taking the beaten path and simply hitting the streets, and the other is hacking the internet. First, when I hit the streets, I drive the neighborhood, go through my daily progressions. I'm searching for stuff like, does the roof of this house look like it needs shingles? Are they worn? Are they smiling shingles? Does the house look completely abandoned? Is the yard neglected? This is how I did things when I first got started. Sometimes I simply would get out of my truck and go knock on the door to see if someone was home or not. If not, I would inquire with the neighbors. Seriously, there's no shame in my game. But you can't have any in yours either, because the jewels are out there. The second way we prospect now is through hacking the internet, because one of the best things about the internet is the power of congregations. Online groups of people that gather together in little pockets of the internet make it possible for people like you and me to find potential deals and be successful without all the barriers of entry and the costly hurdles of traditional media. When I say congregation, I know you immediately think about your local church where people congregate. But a church really is nothing more than a group of people who gather together based on similar beliefs, values, and ideas. For example, Catholics congregate together just as other religions do. Well, the point is definitely not to try to teach you, sell you on churches, but to paint a clear picture of the power of congregation and how you can hack the internet to find deals, tools, and resources you need to be successful in real estate investing. Prior to the internet, it was just difficult for people to find potential deals unless you were plugged into small circles where it was either too difficult to get access or you needed too much money to be in certain circles. Before the internet and apps like Flip, you were kind of limited based on geography. If you've noticed certain neighborhoods have certain congregations of demographics. These individuals support each other economically and socially. And once you understand the core concept of congregations, it's gonna make deals easier to find. We still employ older tactics for P&A, which is what we call our prospecting, networking, and advertising when we're beating the bush. But this is the future, and we're very tech savvy in terms of finding great deals. I'm going to give you the secret sauce and show you how we combine some old strategies with some of our new strategies. Everything such as posting Craigslist ads, we buy houses, the same quirky messages that we use to attract sellers, as well as potential investors, we utilize on everything from Craigslist. The cool thing about that medium is that it's free. Craigslist, you ultimately want to drive people to your destination, which is your landing page funnel. You want to keep that marketing consistent and let people know you're truly the person that they want to deal with. Same as with bandit signs. Do you have a website? If you do, ditch it, seriously. You need a squeeze page with a funnel. We build funnels for our landing pages that interact with the consumer we essentially target, which are our potential customers, through deals and push them down our funnels. This is the best way to go so you can truly leverage your SEO and Facebook marketing. All the marketing in the world is great, but you have to guide your potential clients to a destination and ultimately push them through your funnel. What we want to do by doing this is create a continual pipeline of new business and referrals. We give our prospects something upfront in the form of information about something they desire. You have to think about that. What motivates someone who is selling their home? Are they behind on their property taxes? Does the property have excess property damage? Or do they just need simply to move quickly? We don't know, but what we do know is that we want to properly target these potential customers with the correct marketing strategy by identifying keywords that are going to drive that prospect directly to our funnel. We're going to dive deeper into this and really do a true case study on this when we go over advertising shortly. But in the meantime, if you want to get a jump on funnels and understand how they really can benefit you in real estate and even in any type of other business, then stop by my funnel activation page, which is the link that you see here, www.sportysecretsauce.com. Click on the link that says send me a free trial. I'm going to give you all access to a free trial on funnel building, and that'll get you started. And I also have a gift for you if you look in your bonus box in your back end office that you have, where you'll see a customized real estate funnel for finding off-market deals that we use, that us at Flip are going to give to you as a gift. That's awesome. It's one of the ones we use for our gimmetheiaddress.com funnels. It's one of our secret weapons that we use for finding off-market deals. And that's yours, and you can totally go in and customize with your own logo, color. And once you start the free trial, you'll be able to log into your funnel building account with ClickFunnels and totally get to rocking and rolling. And more importantly, you can start filling up your funnel with potential deals. So I'm excited for you about that. And it's going to be huge. And that's really, really what it takes to get to that next level and really starting to drive clients that turn into potential deals. Networking is developing relationships with people and growing your sphere of influence with these people. These people become your bird dogs, just like the Robertsons when they go duck hunting. What happens when they shoot and hit the duck? The bird dog goes out and gets him and brings it back. There's always a ton of networking in most cities with real estate investment clubs, where you can network with wholesalers and even network people in business groups such as BNI, your local chamber of commerce. And even cooler than that, if you haven't already, download the Flip app and get involved in the Flip community. And network with investors from all over the globe. Flip is not only a great way to grow your network, but also open yourself up to have access to tons of lenders who are looking for you to bring them a deal. Go where the people who are wholesaling deals and are going, and people who are in the business, network and find potentially great deals from people who are looking to offload these deals. Let's dive deeper into prospecting and see if we can drum up some fantastic ideas together. I've got 5 main places that I like to prospect. So stay on the lookout for vacant homes. If you have a good feeling about a potential property, then in whatever area you're in, look up who the property owner is through the taxing authority. So here in Houston, I go to HCAD when I'm looking for property owners, which is the Harris County Appraisal District. You can go directly to the website, and usually if the house is vacant, there's probably an alternate mailing address for whoever the property owner is. Sometimes you might just run across a property that was left to someone, and they may be looking for someone just like you to help get that off their hands. If you're still struggling with getting in contact with the property owner, don't be afraid to utilize social media. In this day and age, most people utilize social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram. You might just look up that way to find who you are looking for. And there are several other ways to try to get in contact with property owners. A few things that could be a giveaway that the property is being neglected is such stuff as pop-up newspapers, lots of mail overflowing from the mailbox, overgrown lawns, boarded up windows, no lights on. So keep in mind what you're looking for. You may find a property that's actually ready to be sold. You just don't know it yet. So keep a lookout for some of these things. Another great source is for potential investment property is the MLS. Although the MLS is constantly changing with properties moving in and out of active status, you may find some good deals, but typically a lot of the homes that are on the MLS are not going to have much of a margin in them. I typically like to go to the MLS when I'm looking for good lot deals because as a builder, I know I can usually find a nice piece of land that may potentially be able to be replatted for multiple home sites, but I'll go into home building in one of our other courses. The MLS is good though to check frequently because you never know what you may come across your desk. Another thing is where having a good real estate team can help. If you're in Texas, don't hesitate to call our office. We have a great team here, a great group of realtors here at New Century Advisors that would love to work for you and find you a deal. So one thing for sure is when you contact whoever your realtor is, you're gonna wanna see the expired or canceled listings reports. These are properties that were more than likely overpriced for the condition they're in, and the area may not necessarily be as desirable for the price that the property was being listed at as well. So you're gonna wanna check this area as well. Classified ads are a great place to find houses for sale that are not on the MLS and even Craigslist. You're going to be looking for sale by owner ads, or what we call FSBOs. I've seen recently properties for sale in these new Facebook marketplaces also. So when you're searching through mediums such as these, you want to look for key indicators such as the following terms on these different ads. If you see something that says handyman special, vacant, motivated seller, must sell, as is, needs work, fixer-upper, great place, good neighborhood, charming. These are indicators that whoever owns the property is trying to convey that, hey, this property may need a little bit of work. We're gonna sell it below market value a little bit. They might be trying to sell it for full price, but that's where your negotiating skills come in handy. And you got to go out and find a good deal and look to see if that area's got the margins in it based on the price that you're getting the property for. So look for those as you're scanning through these different mediums, like I said, such as Facebook, classified ads, Craigslist, the green sheet. We have the green sheet here in the Houston area. Look for these keywords that are indicators that will let you know that you may have a very, very good off-market deal that could have some margins that you're looking for. Foreclosures. So have you ever heard the phrase of someone buying a property on the courthouse steps? This is definitely a great resource. We picked up a fourplex a few years back for $5,000. It was a hell of a deal, and I simply paid the back taxes on the property from the foreclosing entity for 3 straight years. We had to wait out the right of redemption period, which is the time period that the owner has to come back and pay back taxes with interest, of course. But we beat that time period because the property had been left to the heirs, and they didn't even try to contest it, and I truly believe they didn't have the money. This fourplex average rents for me at $600 a month times 4 units for a number of years, so you do the math on that. So it's a great find. So look at your local taxing authorities and find out when the foreclosure sales are, and also find out where you can get the list. Here in Houston, I use a company called Foreclose Houston to get my list delivered to me monthly, and it's convenient. But wherever you are, there are some local taxing authorities and other websites that are going to distribute pre-foreclosure lists on a regular basis. Other sources, foreclosures and auctions that you want to really take a look at are the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, the Veterans Administration, the VA, Federal Housing Authority, and of course, other local taxing authorities. The question is, where in the process would you like to take a stab at picking up a potential foreclosure? You have 3 phases of the foreclosure process where you can capitalize on picking up a potential gem. So let's just take a look at the foreclosure cycle, and this is going to give you some great insight of the process itself and just where you really want to fall in. So like with the you got the pre-foreclosure, the public auction, and the REO period. And this is the time period where the homeowner definitely has to be motivated because more than likely have nothing to lose and they've exhausted all their options. This is what I like to have what my wife calls a come to Jesus talk, and I talk straight and let them know, hey, we can help pay off this debt. Let's not let this house become the be-all to end-all of your financial future. We can come in and pay off the debt. And what does this do for the homeowner? Well, it helps prevent them from going on their credit. At the end of the day, that's the worst option because now it could prevent them from financing another home for a minimum of 4 years with the way the lending minimum standards are with many lenders. And it just causes so many other problems in their lives. I'm also straight with them. There's no reason to sugarcoat and hide anything. I talk straight and let them know at the end of the day, yes, we are going to make a profit. That's what we're in the business of doing. But now we're going to find a solution for you and your temporary problem. And possibly they can also walk away with some money in their pocket or profit. So in the end, it could be a win-win for everyone if the numbers are right. And sometimes you may run into a situation where the lender is willing to short sell the property to you also. Now this is where your negotiating skills directly with the lender is going to come in handy. Negotiating directly who holds the note on the property and coming to an agreement on the sales price. A short sale can be tricky and sometimes a drawn out process, but if done correctly, it can yield a great deal for you. Once the whole pre-foreclosure grace period has elapsed, and defaulted properties will be sold at an auction where it can be bid on, and they are usually held at the county courthouses. So check with your local county courts or parish courts to find out the full details. Here in Houston, they're held the first Tuesday of every month, and it's a spectacle to see. But anyway, if a property doesn't sell at the auction, it's going to go back to the lender and then will come an REO property. So finding good deals at this point can become a challenge, but finding out who specializes in REO properties in your area will help out tremendously. I'd even advise attending a local real estate investment club meeting and start asking around. In this business, everybody's not going to help you, but if you ask enough people, you'll be bound to run into somebody who will, identify with you. They're going to realize, hey, you're in the exact position that they were maybe some years back, and would love to help you. So don't put that past yourself. Hey, ask questions, and that's just the name of the game there. Another resource is the Flip app. Flip is everything you can ask for in a mobile platform for real estate investing. It brings the ability to find great investment deals from other investors and wholesalers from all over the world to one marketplace. These are off-market deals at its best. The cool thing is that it's in a community by itself. There's no better way to connect with wholesalers and people who may have great deals. They are marketing from all over the world. The other great thing about Flip is, of course, the ability to evaluate potential flip and rental deals. You put your metrics in and evaluate the deal, and it really puts the ball in your court and puts you in the driver's seat as an investor pro. It's a very cool app. Download it in the App Store today and use it to your advantage. Here isn't a better resource on the market for evaluating and finding great deals. Also, you can get access to all sorts of metrics. We talked about finding owners and stuff like that, different resources within the Flip app. We actually have a feature where you can, once you find a property, you can see who's the owner of the property and stuff like that. So it's really cool. You can also apply for financing in the app. So once you find your deal, you're looking for financing. We're going to go over financing in one of our other modules that we have for you and how financing really affects your deal, but it's something definitely to be seen, and I would definitely recommend using it as a tool. It's a free download. There are some in-app purchases within the app, but for the most part, everything in the app you can navigate and use it at your disposal. So, all right, let's keep it moving. Okay, the N in P&A is our networking. Networking is important because it helps expand your community of people that you're doing the same thing that you're doing. But most importantly, you're developing a network of resources, which is what I like to call getting your plugs in place. I look at networking as 6 degrees of separation. You truly never know who you might know that will know someone else. I always keep that in mind. I love networking as a whole because I look at it as myself building myself a team of people, almost like an extension of my marketing team. I get that it's reciprocal. Also because people call me at times and they'll say stuff like, Sporty, can you help me, give me the number to a good framer or a trim carpenter? And it's cool. I believe knowledge is reciprocal, so what goes around comes around, and that's just how I live personally. One thing I do believe in is networking with a purpose though. I wouldn't advise you to go to a convention for scuba divers while you're trying to learn about real estate. Seriously, it sounds kind of silly, doesn't it? But I don't want you to network silly either. Expand your core network for your business. This is where we're truly going to take advantage of leveraging the internet by getting involved with groups such as investment groups, homeowner association groups for our target neighborhoods on mediums like Facebook. And I want to show you here shortly which groups you're going to want to network with. And from there, you're going to begin building your circle of trusted marketers within these groups. If you're trying to catch fish, you're going to want to go where the fish usually like to hang out, right? That's just the core thing. It sounds cliche, but it truly is. So other investors, seriously, check out other real estate investment club meetings and connect. You never know who might have a deal that just falls into their lap that they just want to wholesale over to you because they don't have the capacity at the present time to handle that deal. Talk with realtors for the obvious reason. This is what they do. They're in and out helping buyers and sellers, appraisers, lenders, inspectors, lawyers, accountants, contractors, courthouse clerks, builders, developers, title company marketing reps, your people in your neighborhood, your neighbors next door and residents. Let them know what you're doing. Open yourself up and make sure that you have your open time for business. That way people know that what business you're in and what you're doing. So let's now transition into advertising. And I think this will all help bring everything together and get you a clear picture of what we're truly trying to accomplish. All right, cool. So let's go into advertising. So when it comes to advertising, it can be very effective when done correctly and with consistency. I remember my junior year at A&M in the Mays Business School, I took an advertising class and the professor gave us all a magazine and he told us to flip through it. And after we flipped through it, we put it down, closed it, and we had to name an ad that we had remembered at the end of class. And what really resonated with me about this experiment was that the ad that was most consistent and was the one that was most repetitive and the one that everyone in class remembered from their respective magazine. It wasn't necessarily the prettiest or the craziest, but the ad whose message was consistent stuck out in my mind. And when trying to remember everything that was in that magazine, you should try it yourself. Pick up a magazine, flip through it, come back in 30 minutes and try to remember what stuck out to you. And that was all about the repetition that the advertiser that actually ran more consistent ads stood out. So with advertising, it's truly a simple three-step. First is deciding what you want to communicate to your potential leads, and second is figuring out the best way to get the most bang for your buck effectively. And third is being consistent about your message. Let's think first about what our message is. We want to convey to our potential customers that in some way we're going to solve their financial problems they're having with the property they currently own, and we're going to do it quickly. When I advertise, I want to get to the point quickly and eliminate as much extra writing as possible. We do a combination of internet hacking and the traditional banner signs because we like to cover our bases. Of course, with internet marketing, we're making sure that we're covering the spread, but we do keep in mind that we want to make an impact in our area where we're targeting. And everyone might not necessarily be tech savvy. So there may be some deals out there available that we have to cover with bandit signs. And we've used examples like this, like I buy homes quickly, we buy homes, give me the address, sell us your home, why wait? They're simple and straight to the point. But once you get enough out, you'll start to receive a return on your investment in the amount of volume of calls you get. And some of them are gonna be, terrible calls, people call you about all sorts of stuff. The thing here is figuring out which advertising medium you really want to utilize. Direct mail, it's expensive, but it can be effective. You got business cards, they're great, they're cute, but great. Let's keep some on hand. Bandit signs will get a ton of exposure, but they get removed quickly. Print advertising is old and it's effective, but the internet, running Facebook ads, internet ads, you'll get more bang for your buck. It's no secret over here at Flip. Target area, we run the demographics and get effective marketing, so we want to drive prospects into our funnel as we talked about before. Hopefully by now you've already gone to sportysecretsauce.com and got the free trial and taken advantage of the free funnel that we gave you. And now what I want you to do is start driving traffic to your funnel once you get your funnel set up. If you're not as up to speed as how to run Facebook ads and capitalize like a champion, then I do want you to roll into our Facebook ads course for flipping flippers. And we're going to break down how to run Facebook ads and start driving traffic. The cool thing is learn how to develop traffic for any business that you're in, whether you're flipping homes or you're flipping burgers. You're going to learn how to drive traffic and start filling up your pipeline or your funnel. And that's what you want to do. So hey, this was a great module. I had fun with you guys in module 2. And remember, last but not least, you're welcome.